Hello everybody, I'm Superscrull. Welcome back to Let's Play Feed the Beast Unleashed. Where we last left off, we made our AE system, which is fantastic. Um, I've done a lot of work. Oh, whoa. No. I've done a lot. Stop it! Just trying to get these. I've done a lot of work off screen. So bear with me when you see things you don't understand. I will try and see how much I can explain in each episode. Right now, we're focusing on this big machine you can see here. There's ME assembler containment walls. There's the heat vents and stuff like that. So we're gonna work on with that. I've went up and made myself some more 16K storages. I actually ran out of quartz and glowstone, so I had to get some more, but it's not a big deal. So this thing right here, it's a multi-block structure, so you can. I also got no other, as you can see over there, because I needed some for later on. Okay, my keys are really sticky. Ugh. Anyway, so I'm just gonna break this down because I built it, but I want to show you exactly what it is. This thing right here is these wires underneath here. By the way, are the ME cable. The reason I put that there is so it connects to this thing, because this thing needs to be connected to the ME system, and it naturally doesn't do that. So we're gonna break all this stuff here, the pattern providers. You can see there's stuff in there, and I'll explain what that is later on. But I don't want to lose that stuff in there, so I'm actually going to use my force wrench on it. You don't have to. You can just break it with a pickaxe, but I don't want to lose the stuff in it, so I'm just going to use my, this thing, my wrench. And the rest, the crafting CPUs, everything else. Like, you break all this with a pickaxe originally, but I don't want to lose the stuff inside of that, like I said. So there's that. Yeah, so this thing is kind of not too complicated if you know what you're doing. It may look a little bit scary because, you know, you got to make a couple different blocks. It could take a couple steps to make the blocks and stuff like that. So this is a multi-block structure that can be made in different sizes. A good size that I can go with right now is a 4x4x4. So as you can see, 4x4x4. You can do a 3x3x3, which is the smallest. But let me explain something. So the ME assembler containment wall. Ooh. Why am I in cheat mode? Cheaty. So the containment wall. By the way, this thing, the whole multi-block structure together, is called the molecular assembly chamber. And what it does basically allows you to auto-craft things. So to make this is really simple. Is just like this. For the 4x4x4, which I recommend, 32 of these. Then the ME heat vent. The heat vent. Also really simple, just ME cable, iron bars, and iron ingots. If you don't remember what the ME cable is, it's flux, dust, and glass. For my design, 24 of those, and then there's the thing called the pattern providers. You must have at least one pattern provider, or the system won't work. I put 4 because basically each one has a certain amount of storage, as you saw. So it's not too complicated. The ME advanced processor, which we learned last time, and the conversion matrix, which is just that. So it's not too complicated, as long as you make the conversion matrix. Oh, it also needs a storage cell, yeah, but also not too complicated. So I'm using 4 of those. The minimum you need is 1, and the 3x3x3 the MAC, I guess, the molecular assembly chamber. Yeah, so the MAC is you need at least 1, and the 3x3x3 is capable of only holding 1, because the outsides need to be the containment walls and the heat vents. And then you need you don't need crafting CPUs. I put 4 of them in there because they speed up the crafting process. The more you have, the faster it is. So to make those is the CPU, and just like this. So you don't need these, but I wanted to make. You could technically put just one pattern provider, and then have heat vents covering the rest. Or 1 CPU, I guess, if you wanted. But I put 4 because I want more space for the patterns. And then this. So to make it, you basically have to have all the walls and edges, not the walls, sorry, the edges, all need to be this containment wall. So the sides, not the sides, just the edges, just like this. So all the corners, all the rims, down there, and that's all. Now to fill up everything else, basically, that isn't the walls basically and the floor and the ceiling need to be this the heat vent. So you put that, Put it on the floor too. Now, this is where, on the inside, this is where you want to put your pattern providers. So this was the first one, and this was the last one. Hello. What are you doing down here, bud? Anyone else trying to kill me? No? Okay. So I'm going to put the CPUs down first, actually. Oops. And then there's that. And then this one. Which one did I break first? I broke... What's this? Oh, more heat fence. Okay, good. I broke this one first, which was this one. Come on, place it. Come on. Come on. There you go. Then this one, I don't remember if I broke this one or this one. It won't matter too much, though. I just wanted to have it in the same order as I had it before. And then you put the heat fence on top. Oops, and they can see these whole patterns. My pattern providers are full of patterns. And then you place these, and it goes from the dotted ones to the line, and now it's connected to the system. So now you could, basically what these things are now is all connected. So I have these. Creepy sound. Alright, so talking about the pattern providers, there was a cut there. I had to go check on something, and there was a huge scare where I thought I lost this world. But then I realized I was not on the Feed the Beast thing. Or in the Feed the Beast folder, that's folder. Hello. Yeah. I make cool sounds when I kill people. Right. So we were talking about pattern providers. So let's no, let's put this back. Okay, so I showed you the recipes for everything, I think. Now these pattern providers are made with something called blank patterns. Blank patterns. These things. Okay, what is up? Oh my god, I'm turning that sound down. Oh, you're right there, that's why. What the? Right. Okay, so blank patterns are made really, really cheaply, I think. Well, it's not extremely cheap, but it uses scissors, quartz, and glowstone, but it's not complicated. So I've made a ton of them because each one of these is one of those blank patterns. Now, what you need to do to put the recipe in, as you can see when you hover over something, it says like crafts 1 wooden gear with 4 sticks. And stuff like that, you know, crafts 6 oak wood planks, slabs with 3 oak wood planks, kind of thing, in the farm block. And yeah, well, we're not talking about the farm though, because you don't know what that is. Certain things like this, I've made patterns for everything, pretty much anything that I'd ever need to reproduce with the ME system, the cable, the Fluix crystal, the Fluix dust. I actually have the quartz cutting knife here to make where are they? There'll be a lot of things in here that you don't know what they are, and that's okay because I haven't explained them yet. I just put them in here for ease of access later on. So we don't have to waste our time crafting because that's challenging. Where are they? Oh, I took them out, right. But I had this quartz cutting knife to make the basic... What are they called? The basic processors and the advanced processors, but then I changed to the assembly table way of making it, but you'll see that later on. So I have all the storage stuff, even these storage clusters, which are actually used to make the 64K storage. And the why I'm able to do this is because all you need to do to make the pattern, all you do is make this thing called the pattern encoder, which is pretty easy to make as well. Pattern encoder, yeah, it's just a conversion matrix, which is the hardest part in the crafting table and iron. Conversion matrix is this if you don't remember. So you do this, and then you put the blank patterns up here. Then all you have to do is put the pattern in here. But the thing about this is that it doesn't actually take up an item to put it. It just ghosts the items. You can see I have 4 bread here. If I put a bread in there, it makes it know that the bread goes there, but I don't lose any. So I can put that everywhere, and I can click there if I want to get rid of it. So that. But the great thing is, before you actually used to have you needed one of the items and put one in here, and it wouldn't take up the item, but you need it to make the pattern encoder think that it was there. But now what you can do is you can just use any eye to do anything. So because I put the recipe for a jetpack in here somewhere. Where is it? Or did I put the jetpack in here? No, I think I put the drill in here, not the jetpack. So you can see the mining drill requires one electronic circuit. I've never made an electronic circuit, but I put it in here because all I had to do was go to electronic circuit. Then all I have to do is tells you what it is. I wanted to use, by the way, you can use force ingots instead of refined iron, and that gets you 2 instead of 1. So I put that pattern in to make it like with the refined iron instead, because it's a lot cheaper. Not really cheaper, because you still need to use the refined iron to make the force ingots, but whatever. And then you shift right click and it puts the pattern in there, which is amazing. And then you encode it. I would hit clear. Whoops. You have to hit encode, not clear. And boom, now I have it. But oh no, I've made one and I've already had one. Now what I do, I just wasted this. All you have to do is shift right click with it in your hand and it'll become a blank pattern again. I need to make another quick cut quickly and check some settings quickly because my frame rate isn't that good right now. Alright, sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to get any lag spikes or anything. You probably guys didn't even notice the frames go down, but I did. So I didn't want to worry about it later on. Alright, that's how you do the patterns. But there is some issues. For example, I don't have any of the normal rubber, which is whoops. Cable. The copper cable, they require this kind of rubber, but the pattern also says you can use rubber bars, which I have. However, when you go into this and you shift right click this, it comes up as rubber, this kind of rubber. I don't have that. So what I had to do was, here, let me see if I have any rubber. I do, okay. No, I don't have any. I'm going to craft some. Sure, I'll make one. Hold on for a second. You guys probably don't know what's going on right now with this crafting thing, but you'll see. One. Good. So what I had to do was come in here with one of these rubber bars and overwrite this. Like that. So I already done that though. Another thing you have to be cautious of is when I programmed everything in here to make, you know, all the machines. The electric furnace, the macerator, the extractor, the compressor, the cables, the quarry, the MFSU, and the MFE. The reason I was able to do that because I don't have to actually make the item because that would have been tedious. I just have to shift right click it in. It was so much easier. By the way, see how the MFSU is crafted with an advanced circuit, an MFE, an advanced machine block, and a Lapotron crystal. You can't just put that in there because it doesn't know how to make the Lapotron crystals or the MFE or the advanced circuit. So you have to put everything else in that before the process is this. So I have the MFE in there, so it knows how to make the MFE for this. I have gold cable, so it knows how to make the MFE. I have an advanced circuit, so it knows how to make the Lapotron crystal, so on and so forth. This right here is the advanced drill, by the way. It's just an upgrade to the diamond drill. You haven't seen that because it was updated after Tekkit. I'm trying to look for my solar panels though. Here, right here. So I've put all the crafting patterns in to make solar panels up until a medium voltage solar array. So what I'll really have to do is tell it to craft it and it'll do it. By the way, yeah, this thing holds the patterns, and when you connect it to here, it basically just tells you can craft items. You can see some of them have the word craft underneath it because you don't have any. If you do have some, like I have copper cable because I made a bunch, so I wouldn't have to wait for things to smelt when I was trying to make the solar panels. But I have 397. If you just want to hit this, the sword / craftable, you say it shows only sword items, so it won't nothing in here will have that word craft under it. But if you craftable, now it shows craft because it's only showing craftable things. So if I clear this, it's only showing craftable things. Right, okay, so there's that. But now there's the fact that the here, we'll take a look at the generator quickly. We've made this previously, so you should know what it looks like. The generator. The recipe, I use this recipe, by the way, not this one. Not with the iron furnace, with the normal furnace. So machine block is fine. It just, refined iron, stone is just cobblestone for furnace. But however, the generator's NEI thing says that it uses a full RE battery. But we know when we craft an RE battery, it's not full. And in fact, the RE battery, the full RE battery doesn't even have a recipe because NEI and ME and advanced applied energistics doesn't know the difference between a full and a doesn't know that they're the same thing if one's full and one's not full. So if we look up the RE battery, it doesn't even. Oops, not abbed. Do I need to do a dash? I do. So see this thing, the RE battery doesn't have a recipe, but this one does, the empty one. So what I had to do was make an RE battery and physically replace that one with the full one. And you have to do that for anything that would have a anything like that that would have a durability bar, you'd have to replace it with something that had no durability on it. So that like for certain things like trying to think like this the for the advanced diamond drill, it requires this diamond drill, but the diamond drill, wait, maybe it doesn't show the durability. Maybe that was a bad example. But the diamond drill right there requires the RE better. But anyway, I think you get it. You can't put anything with durability in there, so you have to replace it manually if it has durability bar with something with the empty equivalent of it. Example, the MFE actually. The MFE is made with these energy crystals. However, when I make energy crystals, these ones are full, or they're not full, but they don't have a durability bar. When I make them, they do have a durability bar. So I have to replace that with these crystals that have the durability bar, and similar with the Lapitron crystals, and that's that. So this blank pattern can go back in here. Something else I wanted to make mention of for the storage, like, okay, let's look up the 64K storage. 64. Where is it? Am I blank? 'Cause I'm not seeing it. 64K. There it is. Okay. So the ME64K storage is made like this. You need to use redstone, glass, and iron ingot, and a storage cluster. However, if I went up and I wasn't gonna put the pattern for a 1K storage in here, but I ended up doing that anyway. So if we go, what did I put in my hand? 1K storage. I'm gonna craft that. So all I have to do is hit that. By the way, hit begin, and it'll make it. And I also made something called the crafting monitor. Show you how to make that. Crafting terminal, crafting monitor. It's really easy to make, just like this. The basic processor and the cable. And what that does is, while it's crafting something, it'll make craft something that'll take some time. So let's do some copper cables again. Let's craft about 64 of those. Now it'll basically, in here, you go in the crafting mode, it's crafting 64 cables, but to make that, it has to currently craft rubber bars. So it's smelting the bars automatically, because I have it doing that. I think it's going to smelt in this one, actually, yeah. I have it automatically doing that. You'll see how afterwards. So it tells you what you're currently crafting, and if you shift click on the item, it'll cancel it, and if there's more things working, you can hit next. Like to make the copper cable, if it needed to make something else in between before the rubber, it'll show you in here. So it's going to make those, and as you can see, they're slowly going down because it's making them slowly after the rubber thing smelts. But that's what the crafting monitor does. Anyway, so I made the 1K storage, but what you can actually do is right-click, shift right-click, you'll get the storage cell housing, and you get the storage cell that you spent on it back. Because 1K storage is like all the rest, but it requires the storage cell. They're all the same, but instead of using redstone, they're all use redstone and all that, and it just takes a different level of the storage cell. So now I have a storage cell that I can put back into the system and use later. But now what I can do is, instead of I already crafted the storage cell housing. So instead of making another one, all I have to do is make the storage cluster, which is for the 64K one, by the way. Let's begin. That could take some time because it has to craft all this stuff. So let's do its job, and you can see things are crafting. I think it's going to need some silicon if it doesn't have any, so it'll be smelting it. Yep, it's smelting it in here. And this is still crafting rubber, I think. Let's check. Yep, still making the rubber in the background. So let's see, the ME... Ooh. Does it have any ME basic processors? Because I don't have the recipe in there. Oh, no, I do. Yep, it is. It's making it. It's making it with the laser system, as I'll explain, hopefully this episode. So it's going to do its thing, basically. And all I have to do is put that storage cluster, whatever level of the storage cell, in with this storage cell housing, and it'll turn it into what I want it to. So you still have to use the redstone and things, but if you're gonna get rid of a storage one of your storage units, then don't just waste it. Reuse the storage cell housing to save you some redstone, because redstone's kind of important. So it's gonna do this thing. It's gonna take some time, but I've explained that to you. So I'll oh, the power is running out. That's the problem. Okay, so I'm gonna cancel this then. I'm gonna cancel this so it doesn't have to waste my power, because my storage system, it just ran out of power. Darn it. Cancel. So hopefully this thing stops now. Can I just cancel this? Darn it! I hate when that happens. I made one more of these force engines, so it'd give me more power. And then I have the power going to Squeezer, which is being fed logs from AE. And then I have a liquiduct feeding the liquid force into these engines. Liquiduct, by the way, I think I made it before. It's just copper in the hardened glass. Liquiduct. And so what you do is you place it, and if they don't connect, you just wrench them so they do connect. And then because I want it coming out of this, I don't have to waste my time on those what's it called? The Buildcraft pipes in the red. What is it? The redstone engine or whatever it is that pumps the liquid out. I just have to use a liquiduct, have that facing outwards, and then have a redstone signal telling it to pull out. That's all I have to do. So it's going into these three. Then I have something called a rancher, which is an MFR item. And I lured a cow back here. And I have the rancher right in front of it. As you can see, this is the interface for the rancher. So it needs power of any kind. You can take EU or it can take a MJ. I'm giving it MJ because I just have the redstone energy conduit come to it. And as you can see, it has work, and it's basically milking the cow constantly. And then I have a liquiduct feeding that milk into these engines. And to make the rancher is pretty simple. The MFR has a bunch of really cool items like this. The rancher can also be used to, like, if you put shears in, it'll shear a sheep in front of it. If you put a squid in front of it, it'll get instacks constantly. Ink sacks, I mean. It's really easy to make. It's just a machine frame, which you know how to make. The redstone reception coil. The tin shears, a liquiduct, and this plastic sheets made by raw plastic, which is made by smelting rubber bars. So pretty simple. Just give it power, not too much, and it'll constantly milk the cow. So I can always have milk in these things, so I don't have to worry about refilling it manually, because that was annoying. This has power again, good. So what I can do is I'll quickly show you with one of the other storage clusters. I don't have to use the full cluster. Okay, what are you doing, bud? What are you doing, bud? I also remade armor because some of mine broke. So I have I put heat on it. I put luck on it, which I'll explain later on. Luck is just basically fortune. But anyway, it's only showing me craftables right now, so let's do that, and then we'll get storage. Okay, I have one of these storage blocks. That's fine. I'll take one. It can be any storage size. And you put it together, and now I have a 16K storage, and I'll just throw that in there. Oops. In here. The orange, by the way, signifies that it can't take any more types, or it's full. Because these all have 63 types in them, they can't take any more, these three. But they can take more of the same type, because it has space left. Anyway, so now you see this energy being used 48 units per tick. It tells you all the things that are connected. So you have the 32 containment walls, the CPUs. I'm probably going to extend this down 2 more blocks and then add 8 more CPUs just to make it faster. So that's that. And now something here, this is called the ME interface. And how this works is really cool. So to make the ME interface is kind of expensive because you have to make the conversion matrix. But once you have it set up in the MAC to automatically make it, it's really easy to get. And what this does is it basically... well, it's an interface for the ME system. If you put an item in here, for example, or no, sorry, in here, it'll automatically always be in here. I'll show you that as an example. Let me just put something in here that can't be baked so it doesn't get clogged. Okay, good. Because it's connected to the power furnace, it would put the exported item in there. So let me just get some glowstone or something randomly. Just grab some of that. So if I just put 1 in here, this will always have 1 glowstone. So if I take that out, it'll put more in. And no matter how much I take it, it'll always have 1. Now if I put more in there, it'll take that and put it back into the system, so it only has 1. Now if I fill this up with 32, or 33 rather, it'll always have 33 here, and that's basically what that does. But another thing you can do is these all here are actually patterns. Oh god, no! Do not be blowing up my stuff. No. What the hell is your problem? You have a hat. I already have the hat. But you just tried to blow up my system, and that makes me very, very angry. Thank God I have speed, so I got away fast. If that blew up, I would just end off the episode and quit right there. Moved my bed, by the way, and I didn't take down the ugly house yet, but I moved my bed out because I don't want to come back here to sleep, because there's just always monsters over there. Anyway. So that's what basically the interface is for. But there's another thing that you can do for it. As you can see, these things right here, the silicon is a blank pattern. Now, what you need to do to make the silicon, you can put it in here and see what it makes. To make silicon, you need to smelt Certus quartz dust. But NEI doesn't tell you that. NEI doesn't say to make silicon, or sorry, there is no shapeless crafting for silicon. As you can see, you can smelt it, but there's no question mark button that I can hit to tell the NEI to do this. What I had to do, or to tell ME to do this. So what I had to do was I had to physically put Certus quartz in here, and then physically put silicon in here. And you can actually choose what it makes. It's true. So if you put like one iron in here, it'll actually turn into iron ingots. But if you iron nuggets rather. But if you put one refined iron in here, then it'll make refined iron. However, there's no shapeless crafting recipe for that. So what you have to do is take an ME interface, put it underneath, or somehow connect it to the powered furnace, and then I have the powered furnace accepting input from the bottom, which is where the ME interface is. And you put this in down here as processing. So now it knows when I want to create silicon to take it to put it in the smelter in the furnace. So if I do silicon, let's craft 10 of those. It'll take the Certus quartz dust through here. It knows to put it into this machine and not Creepers craft it. And now it'll, sorry, I had to get rid of that first. Now it'll craft it automatically. And then I have something here called the ME precision bus, putting it back into the system. So there's things you need to know about. There's two different types of these buses, or there's a couple actually. There's the precision export bus, the precision import bus, the storage bus, the fuzzy storage bus, the fuzzy export, and the fuzzy import, and the basic import and the basic export. These things are backwards, basically. What you think you want to do, like, if you have an item in here, and by the way, I need to make the back, the orange part, so that the export comes from, so it takes out from the back. You have to do that with these machines. With the IC2 machines, you don't have to do that, but with these, you do. So I have that set up with all of these. I have an interface there when I need to make the coal dust, for example. You need to pulverize that, obsidian, and stuff like that. I have it doing that. I have also one for this smelter because I want two going. For the industrial, or sorry, for the industrial smelter, I have it. Basically, all you do is physically put the recipe you want in here, and then you put that crafting the crafting pattern into the machine that needs to be made. Example, the assembly table. To make that, you need to make these things. You need one redstone, one silicon, one diamond. So I have this connected to the assembly table. It puts it in here, and then it makes it with the lasers. Which, yeah, you guys don't really exactly understand what's going on because you don't know what those do. But you'll see. Anyway, so this makes it, and it automatically exports it from the back. Now, what you need to remember is that what you need to actually think of when you're doing this is it has to go backwards. I made the mistake of putting export buses here, and here, and here. And it's really ugly, by the way. I have the export buses on top. It's messy. I'm going to fix this when I build a base, which I'll probably do soon because I hate how ugly this looks. Anyway, I don't want to use an export bus here because what I'm not doing, because when you're thinking of exporting or importing, you need to think of the ME system, not what it's coming out of. Example, I put an export bus here because I wanted to export the items that were being smelted and put it into the system. That's not how it works. I don't want to export the items from the powered furnace. I want to import them from the furnace into my system. So you don't use an export bus, you use an import bus. When you want to export something, for example, I want to export force logs from my system to the squeezer so that it knows to always fill this with logs. So I export, this is a basic one, by the way. These precision ones look like this. And the basic ones only have one slot. So I put the force log in there, and now it knows to export one at a time until this is filled, which it'll always be now because of that. By the way, did I tell this already? It doesn't matter where you put something, as long as it's connected to the system, one wire, one of the machines, it doesn't matter. As long as it's connected, then it'll be connected to this main system. Example, this export bus doesn't be connected to my access, my controller, or my drive, or my access terminal, as long as it's connected to a wire that's connected to the system. So these import ones, for the precision ones, both import and export look the same. You can change the way how it works. So right now I have it always active, so it's always exporting constantly. I can change it so it's only going to export or import to the system when it doesn't have a signal, or I can change it to when it does, or once per pulse. Okay, but I just have it always active, so you don't have to give it a pulse. Then you can change it. It starts off manually by move single item. So I changed it to move stack at a time. So instead of moving one at a time, it'll move the entire load that's in there. So it's a little bit faster that way, and it works the same for both that and the export, the export bus, the precision export. I didn't really do the fuzzy export or import buses yet, so I'm not going to talk about those yet. Do you guys hear anything? That's that for now. If you don't understand, later on when I'm resetting this up, I'll show you, and then you can get a better grasp of it. So the assembly stuff. What I've been doing, what I did before was to make the basic processors. I made the basic assembly, which is made with the quartz, which you need to use quartz for, which is a waste of quartz, and then I'd smelt that. But there's actually an easier way to do that that doesn't require the quartz or the smelting, and the same with the advanced processor. I was making this with the quartz and then smelting it into this. What you can do actually is use the assembly table like it told me before, but I didn't do it. Now I'm going to do it though. So the assembly table, it just requires the silicon, the diamond, and the redstone, and it'll automatically make it. But obviously, you need power for the assembly table, so I have the energy conduits coming back here. But to make it, you also need to have lasers, which basically point at this thing, and whatever they need to do is either meld it together to make it or whatever. So what I have this thing, the ME interface connected to this thing ready to do is if I want to make one of these processors, and one of these processors. Here's the thing though, when you make a basic, hold on, let's just make an advanced processor actually, because I haven't made one of those yet. Advanced processor, and by the way, you don't have to do the smelting. It'll automatically turn it into a processor. It won't turn it into the assembly. You can just automatically make it without smelting it. So I'll just make one for now. And now the energy is probably going to drain out of this because of how many lasers I have going here. So it'll take this. It knows to put it into here and not shapeless craft it. So it puts the items I need in here. But there's you can make the redstone chipset, you can make the redstone diamond chipset, or you can just make the processor as is. Now you can make the redstone chipset and then shapeless craft it, but I just want to make it as is. But you have the option. It doesn't start unless you choose what you want. I already chose the basic one, so it knew automatically to make the basics. All you have to do is click on that, it'll start making it. By the way, these things also require power, so I have redstone energy conduits behind all of these coming into it. This is probably going to drain my power though a little bit, because that's a lot of lasers I have going. By the way, the color indicates how much power is going into it. The red means there's minimum power going in. The red means there's maximum power going in. So it's working at max efficiency when it's red. When it's blue, I mean. So it's making this. It'll fill up and then it'll make it, and then it'll automatically go into this chest. It won't go automatically into the system. It'll go automatically into this chest though, and then I have this chest set up to an import bus, which will take it into the system because it's connected to the ME interface, which is by wire connected all the way down to this one. So that's that. That's pretty much all for the AE. Now, to make the assembly table is pretty simple. It just requires a couple diamonds, I think, and the lasers require diamonds as well. To make the assembly table is a diamond gear, obsidian, and redstone. Not too expensive, but except for the diamonds, obviously. And then the lasers are even more expensive. So I don't know how many I have, and it's 2 diamonds, the redstone and the obsidian. There's no interface for it. You just put it down with power, and it'll connect to this one. Ooh, did not mean to do that. Did I make it already? I think it did. Yeah, it'll just connect to it automatically. So I have 1, 2, 5, 10 of these going, which is taking a lot of power out of this, especially because I have this powering everything, not just the amount of power. So let that refill and power quickly, because now this thing isn't being crafted anymore, so it should be filling up with power again. So that's my problem with this system. I don't have enough energy, and I don't want to keep using the force engines, even though I've made an automatic system for them to work. I want to switch over to solar panels. Funny enough, though, solar panels are still probably the easiest way to get power because they don't require maintenance, like I said last episode, but they are the only one that use EU anymore. Every other system, such as the assembly table, thermal expansion, all the buildcraft stuff, basically everything, even this, can run on MJ or EU. All of that is using MJ. I don't know why EU is still using, why IC2 is still using EU, because literally nothing uses EU anymore. Everything uses MJ. So it's kind of a waste to make that, because it's not worth as much. MJ is worth more power into the system than EU is. I have explained that last episode though, so I won't talk too much about that. I don't think I have enough time to explain or to start setting up my solar panel system after explaining all that. So I'm just going to show you how I got fortune on my armor and how you can get fortune on your tools and stuff like that for the Dartcraft. And it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit completely different. Oh, by the way, I also made an Omni wrench. I went and just found some cactus and I made my cyan wool. And I made the Omni wrench. It has no durability, and it works basically as every kind of wrench except for Force wrench, obviously. It works as an IC2 wrench, or it works as a Buildcraft wrench and stuff like that. So to make that, if you don't remember, it's just diamond, gold, and cyan wool, so not too expensive. I need this because you need to wrench these power conduits, like I said last episode, and the Force wrench doesn't work, and to also turn these things around. As you can see, it's blue here because the power is going into it. But if I want a power coming out of it like this, it's orange. So if I right-click that, it'll turn into blue, which I don't want because I don't want power going back into it. I want it coming out. So it does that. So that's that. Now, this is why I've been getting the cocoa beans basically to put force into fortune onto this. It's called luck, but it's fortune basically. So to do that, you need fortune cookies. Fortune. Oops. Okay, let's just do it here. Fortune cookies. And to make that is paper and cookies, which is why I need the cocoa beans. So you make the cookies, and you put paper next to them, and you get fortune cookies. And what you do with fortune cookies, let me craft some of those. I'm going to craft 8 because that's how much are made with one batch of cookies. Good. Cookies, what you do is it says eat me, as you can see there. You don't have to be hungry to eat them. You can eat them even at full food, like I am right now, full hunger. When you eat them, you get these papers coming up. I'm just gonna eat 3 of them, I guess. And these papers are called fortunes, and they say read me. So you can right-click them, you get a funny little blurb or whatever. Daydreaming is free, cookies are not. You can do anything at zombo.com. Which came first, the chicken or the chunk? That's a hilarious Minecraft joke. Okay. So what you do now is to get it on something, like my sword doesn't have, I can't actually do that on my sword, but if you wanted to do so on something, let me just make a force pickaxe or something. Force pickaxe, sure. I have it set up to make these, by the way, so that's why I can do it. Just making the force, my extra armor is in here, by the way, I'm not going to use it, so I have one now. I'm also going to get sugar, just so I can make a proper pickaxe. Get like a bunch of that. Get some obsidian. Just grab one of those. I'm actually going to eat some more of these cookies. Maybe like 5. Get more fortunes. What else do I put on a speed unbreaking? What else would I put on that? Grinding, I guess? Nah. Okay, so we'll just have a normal pickaxe, and basically what you do is, let me make sure there's enough energy in this. Clockwork Engine. I'm still using it. It's a decent system, because I'm not going to use this very often. So you put that in. You can put your sugar. Let's put the sturdy. Let's put some sugar. I'll only put 2, I guess. And then these fortune things, they say luck on them, and it's basically just fortune. You put that, and you do it, and you'll get fortune on it. So fortune 3, I think, is the max you can get by normal enchanting, but with force or with Dartcraft, you can put like fortune 5 on something. So let's just wait for this to craft quickly. I also set up I basically wasted a bunch of my time. Because I don't have to spend too much time making these patterns, I made a ton of things that I'll need. Like, I think I have an enchanting table in here somewhere. I even have this farm stuff that I'll work on later, because I'm going to use this farm to do a better system at farming. I have the energy tesseracts put in here, even though we haven't made any of the tesseracts yet. So yeah, I have the enchantment table and the bookshelves and all that ready to go. I even have Mistcraft stuff in there, even though we haven't done any of that. So now I have a Fortune 4 Unbreaking 1 Speed 2 pickaxe. And the Fortune 4 is from the 4 fortunes I put in there. So that's pretty good. Well, it's amazing, actually. So now you have fortune on a pickaxe. And that's how you get fortune on anything force. And I've been meaning to explain that for a long time, but I haven't. But now I have. So now you can, understand it. I'm just going to put this pickaxe back. Oh, actually, yeah, I'll put it back. Whatever. The reason, by the way, when we went to the Nether, you didn't see any Nether ores. I don't think you saw any, right? We didn't see any because when I updated, all the mods that I had re-added into the pack, or that weren't in by default, but I added, I had to add them back, and I didn't. So when I regenerated the chunks that in the Nether ores weren't installed at that time. So that's why you didn't see any. But I have them now, so if we get new chunks, then we'll be able to see some. But I'm not gonna mine any of them, so it doesn't even matter. Only ore you saw was cobalt and ardite, but that's not really part of the Nether ores mod. I want Nether warp because I want to make potions, but I need to get some. Makes a weird sound when you break it, but I want to get some blaze rods first, and I don't have any, but I can actually go get some. I found a Nether fortress, and we can maybe go to that a little bit later. Not in this episode, but later on. So put this stuff back. I'm gonna see how long I have left on this episode, and then I'll maybe show you this farming thing that I've been doing. It's really quick though, so don't worry. Alright guys, this episode's already 35 minutes long, but I'm gonna squeeze this in quickly. So basically what I've been doing here with the farming is a much better system. Is some creeper or something fell on that, but don't worry about it. A creeper. Just talking about you. Hey, what kind of hat is that? I got a creeper head too. Heads are so much easier to get now. Basically, you see this thing here is called a crop. And I right click on it, and I get 1 wheat. So all I do is you make a crop, which is in the IC2 mod. You make a crop. It's really easy to make. It's just 4 sticks, and you get 2. And you put them. So you have to hoe the land, and then you right click on with a seed of whatever kind, or even sugarcane you could do, and then it'll grow. You can't bone meal it or watering can or anything like that because the crop is there. But what you can do is basically it'll grow, and when it's fully grown like this, you can right click on it. You saw there I got 2 wheat, so instead of getting 1 and breaking it and then having to replant it, you can actually get a chance of getting 2 or 3 of whatever you put down, and then you don't have to replant it because the seed stays there. So it's a better system, and it's so much easier. And then I did the same thing with sugarcane. I had to hoe the land, put the crops down, and then I got sugarcane. So these won't grow. These won't grow like 3 tall now, but they have a chance of getting 2 sugarcane now instead. And then they'll stay planted, even though they don't look it. They're just a very little seed-looking thing, but they'll only grow 1 tall. And when they're fully grown 1 tall, then you can harvest them, and they won't grow any taller than that. So it's a better system for farming if you want to manually farm. Next episode, we're going to set up our solar system stuff, and then the episode after that, we'll probably set up our farm for our forest trees, because I'm really low on forest ingots, and I could make some more with refined iron, but I don't want to waste my iron on that. So I'm going to set up a system in which I can actually collect the forest nuggets that drop from the trees using the forestry farms, the multi-farms. I'll keep this one the same because the rubber is doing just fine, and I'll put it here somewhere. And that's basically how I'll do that. I also expanded my sugarcane farm if you didn't notice. And that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, put it in the comments below. I could even possibly, if you guys really want to, make a video specifically meant to cover the entire applied energistic system, because I've been trying to explain it fast, but it's still confusing. So, oh, one more thing. Milk, you can't drink milk buckets anymore. You can't drink them. You can place them down, which I have here. As you can see, this is milk. Well, you can't tell, but it's milk. And when you go into it, you actually get haste for some reason. So I'm mining faster now. So let's get out of haste quickly. So I have no haste, and that's how fast I can break that block. When I get haste, I can break that block a lot faster, even though it's not extremely obvious because I already have force 5. But that's everything. Right now, I've explained this, I've explained the ME interfaces and the force engine stuff. That's pretty much everything I've done so far, and the next we'll do solar panels. We'll probably place them up there and then bring a wire cable down. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. If you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.